Greetings to all of you, wherever you're listening from. I am Commander Bimal Raj, a TEDx speaker, internationally certified trainer and coach, mindset mentor, and a teen and parents coach. In this podcast, The Awkward Talks, I bring you topics that are usually considered taboo or are not discussed freely, but are some of the most pivotal things that we should be talking about.
Well, Happy New Year, everyone. I went to the gym this week after a break of about 2 weeks. I like this gym because there are usually very few people early in the morning. However, to my shock, this time there were a lot of people, and many of whom I had never even seen before, and some of them were working out as if they were preparing for a competition next week. For a few minutes, I couldn't understand what was happening, and then it dawned on me. It's just past New Year, and I would need to wait for a month or two to get my empty gym back. Well, this episode is all about New Year resolutions and why it doesn't work for most people. If you really want your resolutions to work for you this year, I will tell you exactly how you can do it as well. Now, why are we driven to make these resolutions during the new year? The start of a year feels like a fresh start for most of us. It feels like a new beginning, especially when the past year may not have turned out the way we wanted. Therefore, we resolve to make the coming year way better than the one that's gone by. Now, one of the most preferred resolutions is with respect to health. This comes naturally because during the festive season starting from Diwali in India, many of us tend to go overboard with food. In many parts of India where the winters are strong, this is the time to use the lawn to have those barbecue parties, and luckily our bodies are fully covered with multiple layers of clothing. Now, this being the wedding season just gives us another excuse for overindulgence, especially when it comes to food and drinks. However, during these times, we promise ourselves that we would get back into proper diet and exercise and focus on health from the start of next year. Some of the other favorites besides losing weight are sticking to a healthier diet, exercising regularly, making better financial choices, quitting smoking, spending more time with family, etc. Unfortunately, less than 10% of New Year's resolutions are actually achieved, according to psychology professor John C. Norcross, PhD, from the University of Scranton. However, the silver lining is also from another study that showed that those who set New Year resolutions are 10 times more likely to change their behavior than the people who don't make them. So there is nothing wrong with making your resolutions. In this podcast, I will share scientific as well as tried and tested methods. They will help you to be committed to your resolutions and see them through. Maybe you're approaching your resolutions wrong. Let's try and do it right this time. To start with, always remember that there are always two kinds of changes required to accomplish anything. The first one is always internal and the other is external. Without the internal change, your external will never work. Let us now look at what could be the internal change required for you. Let me tell you about the science of self stories. Now, these are the stories or mental pictures that we make up of ourselves. These stories drive our behaviors. They run continuously at a subconscious level and rule all our decisions and actions. When you do something contrary to your self-story, it would not feel right for you, and you will be compelled to fall back into your behaviors that are in line with your self-story. Now, if you want to change the default way you act or behave, you must first change the story based on which you are currently acting. If you want to love being healthy, but if your current story is about your love for food, you will never accomplish your goal of being in love with your health. Now, how can you change your self-story? In his book, Redirect, Timothy Wilson describes a large body of impressive research of how stories can change behavior in the long term. One technique he has researched is called story editing. Now, what exactly is story editing? Now, you do a thorough audit of your thoughts and beliefs, especially on the topic based on your resolution. Let us take the same example of eating right or eating healthily. Write down your current story. Maybe you're stressed at work and due to that you are likely to binge eat. Maybe you don't have the time to eat healthy meals in between your work and travel. Your current story is nothing but a true depiction of your reality. If your resolution is to become healthy and follow a healthy diet, what must be your self-story? You must be a person who is conscious and mindful of what you eat, right? You give attention to what you eat despite your stress or lack of time because you value and appreciate your health as a priority for you. Now work on this story in detail and reread the story till it becomes part of your default way of thinking and functioning. If you can, and once you achieve this, the probability of you achieving your resolution becomes very high because there is a fundamental shift in your attitude and outlook towards your health and consequently to what you eat. My mentor Blair Singer always teaches that all of us are asking the wrong question to others and more importantly to ourselves. We keep asking, what do I need to do to be healthy? What do I need to do to lose weight? Blair says that for a permanent change, you must change the question from what do I need to do to who do I have to be. The sequence is always be, do and have. Let me explain this. Now, if you want to have or achieve something, you definitely have to do some actions that would make you achieve it. However, the most important step is for you to become the person who is willing to do what it takes to have what you want to achieve. Let me explain it with an example. If you want to have a healthy body, what you must do is to eat right and exercise. To do that, you must become someone who values health and fitness. The rewriting of self-story is part of that, but there is more to it. If you are someone who does not have much time daily and still wants to have good health, then what you must do is to plan out your weekly meals. That will help you to be prepared for the entire week. Now, to do this, you must become more disciplined and accountable. So if you don't develop these two characteristics as part of your being, your core being, then you will miss out on doing the meal plan for the week and you will end up eating random stuff. So remember that to achieve anything, the sequence is be, do and have, not the other way around. That's just wishful thinking. Now that you understood the fundamentals of internal change that is required, let us now look at some time-tested principles and external actions. This would give you a higher probability of achieving your New Year resolutions. First, choose a specific goal. Let me continue with the same example of being healthy or losing weight, since that is one of my focus areas also for 2024. Many of us make a resolution to lose weight or get in shape. Now the issue is that round is also a shape. Our subconscious mind does not understand these vague decisions. So make it very specific. Something like I want to lose 10 kgs this year, or I want my fat percentage to come under 15 or BMI under 20. Now these are things that you can realistically set your sights on. So remember, whatever goal you keep for yourself, make it very specific and achievable goal. Next, limit your resolutions. When you're motivated, especially towards the end of the year, you want to do everything, change everything and achieve everything that you could not achieve the previous year. In fact, there is a song in the Hindi movie Yes Boss which goes, "Jo bhi chahun wo main paun, zindagi mein jeet jaun, chand tare tod laun, सारी दुनिया पर मैं छाऊं, बस इतना सा ख्वाब है." Which means I should get whatever I want. I should win big in life. I should be famous all over the world. I just have these small wishes, right? Well, we all like to get everything at once, but if you are serious about achieving them, limit your resolutions and goals. Choose one or maximum 2 areas of your life that you want to work on and put all your focus and energy towards achieving them. Don't spread yourself too thin and lose track of what you really want. Next, focus on one goal at a time. Goals are supposed to simplify your life and provide you with one clear path. If you have too many goals, you may end up not achieving any of them because your mind doesn't know which one to focus on. The good part is that achieving even one small goal can boost your belief in yourself. If you have a large goal, it is always better to break them down into manageable chunks so that you can work on it one at a time. The American Psychological Association also suggests focusing on just one behavior at a time because it is more likely that it will lead to a long-term success. Remember that you are trying to bring in long-term and permanent change. That requires developing and sustaining new behavioral pattern, and that takes time and sustained effort. Next, put time into planning. Don't wait until the last minute, 31st December, 1 minute before New Year to choose your goal. Experts suggest that you must have a proper plan on how to handle a major behavior change. This should have details on the action steps you will take, the reason behind doing it, and how you can keep yourself on track. Working out a detailed plan even convinces your subconscious mind that you are really serious and focused about this goal, and it will start aiding your endeavors. This will also cater to regular and expected challenges that may come up and prepare you to handle those. For example, if your goal is to run 3 times per week, what is your plan if you miss 4 days in a row? Or how will you proceed if you need to take time off for an illness or an injury? So by knowing exactly what you want to accomplish and understanding the difficulties you might face, you will be better prepared to stick to your resolution and overcome anything that might sidetrack. Next, start with small steps. Taking on too much too quickly is a common reason why so many New Year resolutions fail. Like starting a highly restrictive diet that is unsustainable, overdoing it at the gym in the first few days, or radically altering your normal behavior are sure ways to derail your plans. Instead of that, focus on taking tiny steps that will ultimately help you reach your larger goal. For example, if you have resolved to run a marathon, you would start out by going for a jog 2 or 3 times a week, and slowly you would work up longer runs and exercise more days per week. The approach must be similar in this case also. So if you are trying to eat healthier, start by replacing some kind of junk food that you normally eat with more nutritious options. Then tackle another element of your diet, such as adding in a greater variety of vegetables, reducing portion size, and later when you feel comfortable, you can completely cut back on fried foods or even eating out. Next, avoid repeating past failures. It's rightly said that insanity is doing the same things over and over again expecting a different result. If you have tried one resolution for a couple of years with no result, don't repeat the same mistakes. And if you do choose to reach for the same goals you have tried in the past, spend time evaluating your previous results. What strategies were the most effective? Which were the least effective? What has prevented you from keeping your resolution in the past years? So maybe you can start off with something different than the one that did not work. And once you work towards achieving it, and once you achieve it, your self-confidence and belief will grow, and slowly you can work on the resolutions that may have failed multiple times as well. Next, remember that permanent change is more like a marathon and not a sprint. Those unhealthy or undesired habits that you are trying to change probably have been there with you for years or even decades. So how can you expect to change them in just a matter of days, weeks, or even months? Be patient with yourself. Understand that working towards your resolution is a process. It may take longer to achieve your goals than you may have initially experienced. Now that you have made the commitment to change a behavior, it could be something that you continue to work on for the rest of your life. Next, get support. You've probably heard this advice a million times. Yes, that's true because the buddy system actually works. Having a solid support system can help you stay motivated and accountable. Having a buddy makes sticking to your resolutions more fun as well. So ideally, find a like-minded pal or a loved one to join you in your goal. Next, keep working on your goals. During the first few days of the New Year resolution, you will probably feel confident and highly motivated to reach your goal. Also, since you haven't really faced any discomfort or resistance associated with changing your behavior, making this change might seem all too easy in the initial few days. However, after going through the reality of dragging yourself to the gym at 6 a.m. every morning, or gritting your teeth through headaches caused by nicotine withdrawal, your motivation to keep your New Year resolutions may start to dwindle. So when you face such moments, remind yourself exactly why you're doing this. Consider keeping a resolution journal. You can write about your success and struggles in them. Write down the reasons why you're working towards your goal so that you can refer to them during times when you feel uninspired and unmotivated. If your current approach is not working, reevaluate your strategies and develop a new plan. Next, learn and adapt. Now, encountering a setback is another reason why people give up on their New Year resolutions. If you suddenly relapse into a bad habit, don't view it as a failure. The path towards your goal is not always a straight line, and there will be challenges along the way. Instead, view relapses as learning opportunities. If you are keeping a resolution journal, write down important information about when the relapse occurred, what it might have triggered, and what you can do differently next time. By understanding the challenges you face, you will be better prepared to deal with them in the future. Now let me cover a very interesting aspect, because one of the key things that will help you achieve your goals and resolutions is working on your habits. What are habits? Author James Clear in his best-selling book Atomic Habits explains it this way. Habits are the small decisions you make and actions you perform every day. According to the researchers of Duke University, habits account for about 40% of our behaviors on any given day. Basically, your life today is essentially the sum of your habits. How in shape or out of shape you are, how happy or unhappy you are, how successful or unsuccessful you are, all are results of your habits. So all your resolutions like eating healthier, exercising more, drinking less, quitting smoking, texting less, spending more time unplugged, or anything else is fundamentally about changing existing habits or making new ones. Now the challenge with habits is that they're automatic and conditioned responses. For example, you get up in the morning, you go for a run, and then you come home and have a milkshake. You go home at the end of the workday and plop down in front of the TV. All these are automatic responses that you have developed over time. Unless you change these, nothing will change. The good news is that it's not hard to change habits if you do so based on science. Now, how do you do that? Whether you are changing an existing habit or creating a new one, the scientific method for doing so is the same. Well, to create a new habit, you must follow these 3 steps based on B. Jeff Fogg and Charles Duhigg. First, you must pick a small action. Look at your resolution and see what you have written. Get more exercise is not small. Eat healthier is not small. If it's a habit and you want a new one, it must be something really small. For example, instead of get more exercise, choose walk 1/3 more than I usually do. Or take the stairs each morning to get to my office, not the elevator. Or have a protein shake instead of milkshake. Now these are relatively small actions. Next, you must attach the new action to a previous habit. Figure out a habit you already have that is well established. For example, if you already go for a brisk walk 3 times a week, then adding 10 minutes more to that existing walk connects the new habit to an existing one. The existing habit, go for walk, now becomes a cue or the trigger for the new habit, walk 10 more minutes. Your existing habit of walk through door at office can now become the cue or stimulus for the new habit of walk up a flight of stairs. Next, you must make the new action easy to do for at least the first week. Since you are trying to establish a conditioned response, you need to practice the new habit from the existing stimulus for about 3 to 7 times before it will stick on its own. And to help you through these 3 to 7 times, make it as easy as possible. Write a note and stick it on your walking shoe that says total time today for walking is 30 minutes plus 10. Write a note and put it where you put your keys that today use the stairs. Well, if you take these steps and if you practice them 3 to 7 days in a row, your new habit will be established. Try to work on one habit at a time so that it does not feel overwhelming. Once your new habit is formed, you will feel more confident about working on the next one. And now you also have the proof that it works thanks to the first one that you worked on. Remember that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take that step and keep moving forward. There will be challenges. Don't fear them. Embrace them. Keep reminding yourself why you are doing it, what are the benefits, and more importantly, how much you and your loved one might suffer if you don't change your destructive habits. I wish you all the very best for 2024. May this year be your best one yet. Don't forget to click on the follow button and please rate our podcast if you like it and share it with others. This is the time of the year when they need to listen to this episode. This is Commander Bimal Raj and I will be back with another talk very soon.